Hello, I am Dr. Jigare Panchal-OTR. This is a tutorial video on filing, part 3. So as here you see that this is the types, this is the parts of the file which I have already explained in the previous video which I have created. So as you can see here that these are the different areas where a file is used to cut, to trim, or to finish a job of metal or of a wood. But here mainly we will deal with metal, that is especially aluminum with a gauge of 18 gauge, and also element strips and element sheets. So in order to give them a shape according to our needs, such as making the round job round or square or angular, so file is made from high carbon steel. So again the file is a hard steel instrument with numerous cutting points. So metal is cut in small and tiny parts and with the help of a file. So initially we have a big metal sheet, 4 by 8, in that we take a piece which is relevant for us to make a splint, and so that when we cut the piece with the help of a hand shear or with the help of a metal cutter like scissor, so there is a extra debris and very sharp cutting edges are being produced. So out of these cutting edges, so so to remove all that extra debris and to make it smooth, we use files. So there were mostly a file is used to give a final finishing touches to a job of a metal or a wood, but we will deal with metal. After chipping a job of metal generally becomes rough, and a file is used to make it smooth. So in case of machine, the part is larger in size and then the required size, so file is used to make it suitable. Also in addition, the file is also used to other for cutting tools, which the cutting tools cannot be do means cannot be used, and the files are also used to for sharpening the edge of a small or other cutting tools. So as you see here, there are different parts of the file with the point, face, heel, tank, handle, the full length, and the edge of the file. So a wooden handle is fitted on its tank. So as you see all these parts, so again so the wooden handle is fitted on its tank. The teeth are cut on its face and edge so that it can perform the job of cutting. So the part having no teeth is called as heel. Thick side of the file is called edge, and its lower end is known as tip or point. So again in the next slide we'll discuss about the types of file and tools and its classification based on it. So here are the types of the file and which its base. So you see here that the types of file tools, like while making a selection of a file for a specific job, some important points or salient points should be considered. Thus in other words, if you say we can say that the files can be classified in various categories. As you can see here, there is on the base of the length, on the base of the shape. The shape defines like flat file, round file, half round file, or a semicircle file, you can also call it, triangular file, square file, hand file, and knife file, which are the shape of a knife basically. In the basis of the grades means how is the surface and how to discriminate the surfaces. So one has the round shape, one has a busted file, this second cut file means it has crisscross cuts, smooth file, and dead smooth file means very smooth, which you run smoothly itself also. So also, and on the base of a cut, so single cut file, double cut file, curve cut file, spiral cut file, and the rasp cut file. So like that, there is a very differentiated classification which is there in the cases of a file. Also the classification according to the length. So file is measured according to its length, as I showed in the previous slide. What is length? So this length includes the whole run of a file where you see the crisscross patterns or the edges from the tip uh, 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 to the tang of the file, or to the heel of the file basically, heel to the tip to the heel basically. So so this length includes the whole file except its tank portion, that is the length from the heel to tip is the measurement of the file. In fitter trades, so the file of 100 mm to 450 mm length is also used. So here you see two shapes, other shapes I have shown in the different slide here. So as per the classification of the shapes according, so here you have different types of file tools according to the shape. So this is a flat file and that is a round file. So the flat file, this file is a rectangular cross section in shape. It is made up of slightly tapered both in width and thickness. So the double cut teeth are cut on the face and the simple cut teeth are the cut on the edge. Okay. So if you see, that means the double cut teeth are the cut of the face and the simple cut teeth are the cut of the edge. So this are used to reduce the flat file of the flat surface by filling or finishing, by filling or finishing. Also in the case of a round file, when we see, so this type of file is also known as a round section file. It is used for rubbing or finishing keyhole of a small diameter, and that's how this file is being used in certain places. Now in the next slide we'll see the different shapes of the file and how it is being used. So now here you have certain files, that is half round file. So it is the file which is the C area which you see here. So this is a file which is which is on the side and curved on the other side. So the double cut dents are cut on it, and like a round file, it is also tapered. So with this file, the damage hole can be set in order again. When you have a triangular file, so it is a triangular in shape, its angles are of 60-degree, filing of V slots job, and square and rectangular jobs of about 60-degree and below 90-degree angle are done with this file, and it is also known as three square files, which is the E which I mentioned. Now you have a square file. So this shape, which is in this shape, is somewhat tapered, and filling of a rectangular square grooves, slots and keyway is done with this file. When you have hand file, so this is the most similar, is almost similar to the flat file. It is used for filing of the internal right angle side of a job. It is also called SFH file. The knife file, as you can see, the shape of a knife. So its shape is like the edge of a knife, and its thin edge is about 10-degree angle. So it is used for filling of small grooves and slots whose angle is less than 60-degree. It is generally used in lock industry for making keys. So that's how these different files are being used at certain point. So now this slide speaks for itself. So you have different ages. So I have divided certain ages which you can see for your understanding. This is the real file images which you see on the right bottom. On the left side you see the different names of it with this different sections of a cut. What is RAS, what is single, what is double, what is magic cut, and what is curve cut. Also on the side, on the left top, you can see the differentiated images. In center and the right you can see, and top right, in the top center and top right you can see the coarseness and the length and the shapes which are defined in various ways. So when you understand this in a different manner, so rough, this is according to the grade of the file. So this is a rough grade in this type of file. The teeth of big size and less in number are there, and it is used for cutting soft materials because its cutting is rough. Because of rough cutting, it cannot be used for hard metal. On the busted side, if you see, so there is a different way of doing it. So that makes a buster thing. So here the teeth is of this file is comparatively smaller than those of the rough file. It is used initially to shred metal, the rough filing in large quantities. So again, if you see, then there is, you have a second cut file. So this is a file of a medium grade in the filler trade. This file is mostly used to bring the job in a proper size as compared to the busted file. Filing done with the file makes the surface plane. Also smooth file, as I mentioned, the file makes the surface quite plain in addition to making a job of accurate size through filing. Then dead smooth file is teeth very close to each other and it rubs off the metal in a very little quantity. It is used for bringing shining in the job after finishing as the job is done. Even after smoothing the shining matter, so this makes it up. So then there is a certain understanding about single cut file. So this file has a parallel lines of teeth running diagonally across its face in one direction only. So the metal surface is rubbed in little quantity and thus the surface becomes smooth. Therefore, it is used for the hard metal for finishing. Double cut, you have different crosses, different cross section angles, 40 degree to 45 degree, and other row as angles of 70 to 80 degrees. Also, because of the and you have the double cut file which says both the side cuts. So because of the double teeth, this file cuts metal quickly, but it cannot make the surface very smooth. So that is why it is generally used for normal filing. Normal filing. So it is also called as coarse type file in 30 degree to 35 degree. Another row is 80 to 87 degrees show in angle. Curve file, it is also known as Vixen file. So the curve file cut is used for filing of the wide surface of the soft metal like aluminum, zinc, copper, and brass. It has circular teeth. And spiral file, you say, so is a very spiral way of showing that its cut is round and semi round files. Also rasp cut file, it is a very sharp and very big teeth, so thick teeth basically. So these teeth are triangular shape and are in bulging state. It is used for jobs of woods, plastic fibers, and hard rubber, and job of horns and hoof of animals. So again, we don't deal with it, but this is just for information. I mentioned the details of the surfaces of the file. This is about the proper positioning of filing, that is how to choose the right type of file according to the job. And this picture image you see, this is the way we file, this is the positioning how you should do. And the file should run through the job from full length to the tank, uh, uh, to the handle or to the tank of the file. So in that you are supposed to stand and deliver uh, the ability to file the job. So basically choose the right type of file according to the job. There should be a handle fitted on the tag of the file. In small files, a small handle should be fitted, and a large handle in the large file, obviously that depends on it. And hold the file with the file in the right hand, and keep the file and balance with the left hand. So at the time of filing, the left hand should be kept ahead, and the right leg behind as shown, as you can see in the image basically. So the pressure on the file should be exerted while moving it ahead, not while driving it back. Okay, so that is the way you do it when you go in front. So only your hand should be moving with the file and not your whole body as far as possible. Keep rest of your body. It should be little isolated movements of the shoulder, the upper extremity compared to the whole body. So speed of moving the file should be the rate of 30 to 35 strokes per a minute. So and as much less strokes you do, the better you can do. That is, it comes with the expertise. So there are different ways that the using of the file. Precaution should be taken, like selecting the file according to the job. Do not use file without a handle according to the size. The handle should be fixed on the file. Without handle you cannot deliver the proper force and mechanism, and you may get hurt. So first, a new file should be used on a soft metal, and then it should be used on a solid metal. So if the substantial material is to be cut, then first chipping should be done and then filing. So for filing of a metal sheet jobs, the job should be fixed in a very nice using wood on both its sides, and should be ensured that the sheet should not be higher than twice. So while filing a sheet, we should cut it in length. We should make use of a chalk in order to save the job from pinning. If there are metal particles on the file, they should be cleaned with a brush. So keep a file away from other tools, and they should not be heaped together. The file should not be heated, and do not apply oil or grease on the file. So this is about how to maintain a file that I have mentioned in the previous videos also. I'll say again on the application of the file. If you see that a file should be used for giving final finishing touches to a job of a metal or wood, but we'll use metal over here in our field. And after chipping, a job of a metal generally becomes rough, and the file is used to make it smooth. In case of a machine, the part is larger in size, and then the required size of file is used to make it suitable. In addition, a file is used to where other cutting tools cannot be used, and the file are also used for sharpening the edge of some other cutting tools. So that's how you use the file in different manner, which helps you to gain certain mechanism of how to deal with it. Also, now we will go for a video which gives you a short tutorial how to use a file.
In this tutorial, we will learn what is filing, various tools used for filing, different types of filing, how to file a workpiece, and common mistakes while filing. For this tutorial, we require a file, the workpiece to be filed, bench-wise to hold the workpiece, vernier caliper to measure, tri-square to check the workpiece's squareness, hacksaw to cut the workpiece, punch to mark on the workpiece, and a ball peen hammer. First, let's see what is filing. Filing is a method of removing excess material from a job or a workpiece using a file. There are various types of files for various requirements. Flat file for rectangular cross-section, smooth file for getting smooth surfaces, safe edge file for filing the right-angled part of the workpiece, square file for developing square corners and square holes, half-run file for filing semi-spherical surfaces, and round file for developing holes and round grooves. Let's now learn the filing process. My requirement is a 5 by 3 inch workpiece. The job or the workpiece which I have is 5 by 4 inches. So, let us first cut the excess 1 inch part. For this, apply the marking medium on the workpiece. You can use a chalk or ink as a marking medium. Once the medium is applied, mark the workpiece using a Jenny caliper as shown. So I am marking a little less than 1 inch according to my requirement. Next, use a punch and a ball peen hammer to punch on the marked line. After this, place the workpiece parallel to the jaws of the vise. Now tighten it to hold the workpiece in place. This is so that we can cut the workpiece easily. Next, take the hacksaw and cut the excess portion of the workpiece. Once the excess part is removed, measure the workpiece once again. Yes, the measurement is proper now. I have 5 by 3 inches. Now let's start filing. First, we have to select a suitable file. I need a smooth edge, so I will choose the smooth file. Make sure that the handle of the file is securely fitted. Do not use a file without a proper handle. You will end up injuring your hands. Make sure that the file is clean before you start filing. Using rusted files will damage the workpiece as well as bruise your hands. So now I have selected the proper file. Next step is to place the workpiece securely in the bench vise once again. Position yourself at 90 degrees perpendicular to the bench vise. Place your left leg in the front and right leg at the back. This is the best position for filing. Now hold the handle of the file firmly in your right hand. With your left hand, hold the tip of the file as shown. Ensure that the right thumb is pressing the handle of the file firmly. Now we are ready to start filing. There are 3 methods of filing. They are straightforward filing, draw filing, diagonal or cross filing. Let's see them one by one. Moving the file lengthwise across the surface of the workpiece is called straightforward filing. In this method, the filing is done by moving the file up and down slowly. You can see that your workpiece is getting filed and the excess material is being removed. In draw filing method, the file is pulled towards the body with an even pressure. In diagonal filing method, the file is moved diagonally over the surface of the workpiece. The movement of the file is from one corner of the workpiece to another diagonally. Once the filing is done, we have to check the flatness and squareness of the workpiece surface. This is done with the help of tri-square and vernier caliper. To check whether the flatness is proper, place the tri-square on the workpiece as shown. Do so at 3 different places on the workpiece. Check this against a light source. This is a clear indication of flatness. If the surface is uneven, then you will see light rays between the workpiece and the tri-square. In such cases, you will need to file again. Next, we will check the squareness of the workpiece by using the tri-square. Keep the tri-square on the corner of the workpiece as shown. Now touch the edges of the tri-square on 2 adjacent sides of the workpiece like this. Check whether the adjacent sides of the workpiece are at 90 degrees to each other. If not, then file again. Another measurement that we need to do is to check the thickness of the workpiece. For this, we have to use a vernier caliper. Place the workpiece within the jaws of the vernier caliper as shown. Measure the thickness of the workpiece. Now repeat this at least 3 different locations on the workpiece. Identical measurement indicates that the workpiece is even in thickness. Now it's time to learn what not to do while filing. Do not file a workpiece at an angle. Do not file a workpiece at both the edges, skipping the center. With this, we come to the end of this tutorial. Let us summarize. In this tutorial, we learnt to measure a workpiece, remove the excess part of the workpiece, file a workpiece.